Okay, I'm going to make a bracelet that consists of all 4 mil Firepolish beads. So what that's going to do is, these are bigger beads, so they create a bigger hole in the center, and then it becomes squashy when it's finished. There's nothing to stabilize it. So we are going to kumihimo around a core, and we're gonna use two 12-inch pieces of 3mm satin rat tail to put into the middle of our bracelet to stabilize it. Now, I have 30 beads per warp strung on here, and that's going to give you an 8-inch bracelet. So what you do is, it's 30 beads per warp yields an 8-inch bracelet, right? So the math on that is 30 divided by 8 equals 3.75. You round that up, and that's 4. So you basically need 4 mil Firepolish beads per 1 inch of finished bracelet. So if you needed a 9-inch long bracelet, you would string 36 beads per warp. Now, I normally am a 6-inch bracelet, but this is going to be thicker. It's going to be really wide, so beads take up inner circumference. So I might need a 8-inch bracelet. I don't know. So I would just go ahead and start with 30 beads per warp. If you don't need them, you don't need them. If you need more, you can always put them on afterwards. Okay, so these are all wound on my bobbins, and now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to gather them up just like we normally do. Now, you have to already know how to do beaded kumihimo, so you'll have to watch my other video on how to do beaded kumihimo so that you know what I'm talking about. This is just another technique for those of you that are already experienced. So what we're going to do is we're going to gather up our warps here. Okay, so I've got them all gathered up. And we're going to incorporate our core strands. And now I'm just going to tie this all into an overhand knot. Okay, so I got all my strands tied in a knot, and I've untangled them also, so they're all somewhat straightened out here. And now we're just going to take our disc and we're going to put that through the top into the back there. And now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to load up our disc with our core in the middle. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just put on our warps. Okay, so we've got that set up. This is coming out the middle, and I'm going to put my weight. I always forget to put the weight in the materials list, but we've got my little weight, and I'm just going to attach that to my knot. Doesn't have to be pretty, just get it on there. There we go. Make sure my knot's nice and tight. Okay, we're going to bring this up flush just like we did before. Okay, so this is super easy. Now, when you are working on the right side, this needs to go over to the left, and vice versa. Okay, so you're constantly just flipping it back and forth. You don't want a kumihimo, like have this over the right and then bring the right one down, because look what happens. You're going to bring that up over it, and now it's going to be sticking out the side of your braid, and we don't want that. So we're going to push this over to the right, or to the left, excuse me. And we're going to just go ahead and we're going to just kumihimo, nothing but cord for our little end. God, I'm getting sick of saying nubbin, but I call it a nubbin. I don't know what else to call it. So we're going to kumihimo. So this goes over to the right, because I'm on the left side one now. And I don't see a need to have a bobbin on this, so. Okay, so I have a nice length of nubbin here, and it's thicker because of the core. So we're going to use a finding that has a bigger opening. So let's go ahead and start with our beads now, and it's exactly like my other video. There's nothing changes. It's just that you're still going to be going around the core, just like we did with just the cording. So we're going to start with our beads. And that gets shoved out. Oops, popped out. Okay, so we want to make sure that our warp that's going to lay under is nice and taut. Okay, move that over. I think my weight might be a little too heavy. It's kind of dragging. Okay, so I'm making some great progress here. And I want to just kind of give you a little tip on how to keep these beads nicely in line. Now see what happens? Watch that bead. Let's see if I can get that in. Okay, if I pull too much, see how the bead is going at an angle? We don't want that. We want it to be squared up with the core and stand straight. So let's see when I tighten up my warp, see how that just squares that right up to the core? And now all of my beads, isn't that gorgeous? They're just all in a nice straight line. I think my first one I did this, it sort of had kind of a twist to it because I wasn't doing that. And oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I just love this. You're going to love it too. So again, just make sure that you don't pull too much on this warp. See how that's pulling? So come back. There you go. See how that just pushed that right in there? So you want to do that every single time with every bead. You want to tighten the warp that it's laying underneath. And that will ensure that your beads are all in a nice straight line. Okay, so you already know what to do to end this, right? You watched my other video. You know how to bind it off and glue in your finding. And that's what you're going to do after you get done. You're just going to tie all of this together into an overhand knot, just like you would before, including your core. And then you're going to bind it off and attach your clasp. Easy peasy. I hope you liked this video. I hope you're eager to give this a try. It is really beautiful. And this technique works fabulous when you're using like all 6/0 beads also. Now if I were to mix some size 8/0 beads in with this and not all 4mm fire polish, the little beads, they make the hole smaller. And you may not need a core. Or you might only need like a 2mm core or just one of these in the middle to make it more stable. Just play around and see what you think. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. And I'm really happy that you guys are checking out my videos and subscribing and all that good stuff. And I am really digging this, and I love you guys. So have a fabulous day. And I would love to see what you do with your Kumihimo. Share your pics with me. I'd love that. Until next time, have a fabulous day. See ya.